This is a recap of a workshop that we gave in Victoria, BC, end of July 2022. The basic idea here is, in order to better remember what's in your repertoire for dancing, is think about what you know in terms of a few different basic positions on the dance floor. So one common set of patterns that a leader might want to be remembering is left side passes. So what I like to do is think of an acronym for all the things I know that I can lead down a left side pass. So the acronym I came up for the left side pass is called SPIFS, S-P-I-F-S. And what that stands for is, the first one is a spin by. So I might do a spin by. And that was, more than a basic spin by. With all of these patterns, the idea is that there's a basic and then there's a million elaborations on the basics. So the SPIFS is not really just the 4 or 5 patterns that the acronym suggests, but it's really just the general shape of something that you could then elaborate. So spin by was the first thing. The second thing is a pop out, where you lead your follower in and then pop them out, and then do a turn. So I call that a pop out. Another one, the I in SPIFS, is an inside turn, led with the right hand. Do the right hand turn, and she might do, a head roll underneath. I might spin underneath my arm like that. But the idea is it's just an inside turn, and you could lead just a normal inside turn down the left side pass. The F is for a fold. A lot of things you can do with folds. So you lead a fold almost like a spin by, except that her hand comes behind her back, and you might spin her out, and you might flip behind like this, and then send her back. So that's the F is for fold, and the last S in SPIFS is for slingshot. So you just lead by 1, 2, and you've got your slingshot, and there's a million ways out your slingshot. So that's the left side pass. For the right side pass, the acronym I have for that is CONCHI. The C stands for cutoff, and there's 1,000 different kinds of cutoffs. One I like to lead is kind of like a karate move here. You lead someone in, you do a karate chop, and send her back. Or you could do a cutoff where you catch her on the side, take a look at her, maybe go back and forth a little bit and spin her out. The cutoffs is just the general set of those. The O is for an outside turn. A lot of different kinds of outside turns. Ones I like is called an angel. Just kind of lead a nice big arm. There's your angel. That's for outside turns. That's the CO for Conchi. The SH is for shoulder. So you lead the hand to the shoulder, and then you have a whole bunch of choices. You could turn that into an around the world. That's one exit. There's a lot of different exits once you've led that hand to the shoulder. And the I in Conchi is for another inside turn, where you can just lead her. And again, I like to do these little head roll things out of the inside turn on that side as well. So that's Conchi. So you got left side passes, right side passes. The next is sugar pushes. For sugar pushes, the acronym is FAXIT VW. There's a lot of different sugar pushes, so it's a nice long acronym. The PH is how I spell FAXIT. Faxes, I should say. The P stands for post. So I would lead the woman in for a sugar push and make a post with my right hand, and then she can walk out. So that's the post. The H is for a hammer lock. So you lead her into a sugar push, and then you might put her into a hammer lock, and then you might spin her out, lead her around and out. So that's the H is for leading her to a hammer lock. The A is to go at an angle, so you lead her in for a sugar push and send her out to the side. Maybe do a turn, and then maybe spin her out. So A is for angle. The X is for doing cross steps. So you lead her into the sugar push, and you stop, and then you do these little steps. I don't know what you call them, but anyway, I call them cross steps. So that's the X. The I is for an inside turn out of a sugar push, I think. So you do a sugar push, and then you can lead her to an inside turn. acronym was that I had for that. But anyway, you can make up your own acronyms. The last one is S, stands for Superman, where you're doing, you lead her in, and she can just, there's 100 different ways to lead into a Superman. Often it's like through a spin by. You might do a spin by, but you get in her way like you would with a sugar push, and then you send her out. So that's the Superman, so that's faxes. The V is for vanish. So you come in and you're doing a normal sugar tuck, but you disappear by following her around. So that's the V. And the W is for a whippet, where you might do the hammerlock to start with, maybe go into a raft, and then do what's called a whippet. So W is for a whippet. So that's the faxet VW. The last general pattern you often find yourself in is the whip. And the acronym I came up with for whips is Godwi, G-O-D-W-I, which is almost my mother's maiden name, which is Godwin. So I need to come up with something that starts with an N in order to make it the full thing. So, all right. Yeah, yeah. So the first thing is the grapevine. So we'll do a normal whip, and then you might just end it with the grapevine. This is sort of a fun way to end the whip. So that's the G. The O is just ending a whip with an outside turn. Just end with an outside turn. The D is to do a donut. So a donut is a pattern where you shift your hips and you stick your butt out and come back, sort of a sexy thing. The W is for the windmill. And a windmill is where you're in the middle of a whip, grab her hip, flip her around. You could have a dip if you wanted. Woo. So that's the W. And the I is for an inside turn. So you're doing a whip, and you duck out with an inside turn as a leader. So those are my whip variations. And somewhere along the line, this is not a whip variation, but it has an N. So there's Nick's thing. I don't know which acronym this went with, but we like this one just because I was taught this by an instructor named Nick. So there you have it. And the same concept of organizing your dance can also apply to followers, where, followers should think about, well, if I'm led down the left side, or led down the right side, or led to a sugar push, what are some things that I can do to think about what are the things that work with that pattern? So try to organize your stylings along those same lines, and that can be very useful to followers as well. For me, it helps me remember the possibilities. So it's not so much a pattern as it is a memory aid, and hope you found that useful.